What's going on, folks? We're finally here, Digimon World 1. We're going to do a playthrough. Hopefully it won't be shit. Let's go. Been meaning to do this for a few weeks now, but I keep putting it off, and finally I got time to actually get going. So we're going to start a new game. I think we have a lot of garbage slaves. Let's go into slot 2. And here we go. This old guy is Digimon. If you haven't played Digimon World 1 before, this guy's going to be looking after us, kind of like he did in Digimon World Next Order. If you've played that game, he's going to ask us, do we have a Digivice? I'm going to say yes, but honestly I don't know if that question matters too much. Which part of the day do you like better, day or night? In this case we're going to pick day, and this time it is important, because that's going to determine which Digimon we start with. If you pick day, you get Agumon. If you pick night, you get Gabumon. What's her name? We're going to go with, I wanted to call myself Wolfosaurus Rex, but that won't fit, so we'll just stick with Wolfie. That's right. What's your Digimon's name? Let's call her Digimon Phil. I feel like we're going to spend a lot of time screaming at our Digimon, and so we need something short and snappy to abuse them with. I would have put in something violent and potentially slightly racist, but I don't think that's appropriate. So, we're going to kick things off straight into File City. Now, this game, again, is kind of similar to Digimon World Next Order. You start in File City. File City is going to start off very small and very shit, with not a lot of Digimon in it, and your job in the game is to run around the entire world and recruit Digimon to come back to the city. When the Digimon come back to the city, they're going to give you perks, and they're going to give you items and things like that, bonuses. That's going to make you and your Digimon stronger. When your Digimon's stronger, he's going to grow, and you're going to be able to fight harder bosses, etc, etc, until you've got all the Digimon and saved the digital world. It's kind of cliche, I know, but, you know, we're just kind of badass that way. Welcome to the digital world, says Digimon. How the fuck did we get here, says the main protagonist, who I didn't know this for a long time, but the main protagonist of Digimon World 1 is actually Mamio from Digimon World Next Order. So there you go, bit of nostalgia for you guys. These are Digimon, if you didn't know. Apparently we didn't know, even though he tells us that because we have such a strong bond with Digimon, we would be ideal to save the world. So I don't know why we're suddenly all like, I don't know what Digimon are, because we do. Wolfie, this isn't a dream, but it's not real either. Remember all those mushrooms you took earlier on tonight? Well, yeah, that kind of might explain things. There are more Digimon World in this place. Looks like a dream to be real. Who's this guy? Is this Phil? See, we recognise Phil. I remember now, I got sucked into that digital keychain, which is what happened in the opening cutscene. That's right. Why am I here, though? Come into my house and I'll explain, says Digimon, as he says to all the children that visit Filesay. I invited you here to save us. We were gonna hire Jack Bauer, but he wasn't available. Digimon started to lose heart and moved out of the city, mostly because it smelled really bad, but I'm not sure what caused it, he says. But why me? You're good at raising Digimon. Apparently we are, even though we didn't know what Digimon were. Plot holes, baby. That's why I chose you. You can rally all the Digimon in the island, you know, threaten and beat them up and get them to join us. You can count on me. So suddenly we're filled with energy and an enthusiastic attitude in which we know we can do this. Where do I start? Take Phil and explore the island. Find the cause of the danger and get Digimon to come back. Let's go, Phil. So, I'm going to take you guys on a really quick tour around File City if you haven't played this game before. And I'm going to show you what it's like now compared to what it will be like once we kick some ass and save some Digimon. So, this is kind of your starting area. We're going to talk to Tanemon, because Tanemon is going to give us our meat source, which is the food we're going to be feeding to Phil to keep him going. So meat's quite important. So yep, this is the starting area. Pretty run down right now. I'll quickly show you down here if this little floating ghost will get the fuck out of my way. There's nothing here just now, okay? File City is pretty boring. As he said, there's no Digimon here, so this is the central part in which a lot of our Digimon are going to move into, but right now there's no one here because the city sucks balls. Up here and to the left is the gym, and that's probably quite important in this game. So if you guys have watched my guide, which I'm guessing a lot of you have, not to plug that, but in Next Order I make the point about if you battle your Digimon, like fight other Digimon in the world, it passes no time, whereas in this game, in Digimon World 1, that's not the case, and the gym is probably going to be one of the biggest places to train up your Digimon. So these are all part of your attributes. If we look at our Digimon here, we've got our HP, MP, offense, defense, speed, yada yada yada. Each of these things are apparatus that we can use to train our Digimon up to be a bit stronger. So this is their strength training. We do that, our offense goes up a little bit, but an hour passes in game. Agumon needs food, so we're going to feed him. Actually, that just reminds me, we actually missed something that I'm going to go back and grab real quick. So we feed Agumon and he's happy and he makes a little noise that we're going to try and not listen to, because it honestly makes me lose brain power when I hear it. But if we nip quickly back into Digimon's Love Shack, we're going to talk to a little item bro. Again, very similar to Next Order, we have an item bro here. Tokemon's going to give us a shit ton of items, which we can now use to help us in the start of the game. So let's go. Gonna head back to the gym real quick and train Agumon / Phil a little bit, and just get him geared up a bit before we do our first bite. Our first bite. No, I've already our first fight, because right now he's kind of weak as a little chihuahua. So we're gonna make him a little bit better. So early on, we're going to be training up our speed and our offense, because we don't want Agumon / Phil to stand around like an idiot in battle. We want him to actually punch the other Digimon in the face, and so we're going to put up these two stats first. And honestly, this should be good for now. Well, that was good timing. Okay, so yep, if you didn't already know, prepare to be astounded at the excitement that this game provides. We're going to have to take Phil to the bathroom every now and then. Now, because this game is old school, it doesn't give a shit about putting a garage door in front of you, in front of your screen when the Digimon need the bathroom. It just straight up shows you him taking a plamp. So that's that. So this is our first fight, and here we're going to find another Phil, which we can actually run away from if you're fast enough. But this fight is one that you've meant to take, so we're just going to take it anyway. This is going to be our first boss, and this is kind of your introduction to the game. You can lose to this guy, but you shouldn't really be. So, this is the boss music, and hopefully we're going to kick this guy's ass without too much trouble, because I don't want to waste a lot of items right now. And this is the this is the thrilling combat system, guys. If you weren't sure about what was going to be going down, this is the real meat and potatoes. Again, we put up his speed so that we could get some rapid hits in. Hopefully he does something, Phil. Yep, good man. Excellent. So as our brain skill goes up by every 100, we will unlock new commands that we can shout at Phil when he's fighting. Right now we can't run away because it's a boss battle. Not that we want to do the running anyway, because we're kicking this guy's ass. But for the time being, we just have to shout like this, which basically lets our Digimon do anything he wants. But this guy was luckily weak enough that we could kick him in the face, and he was fine. Easy to beat. Get a little bit of money. We didn't learn any moves, which is kind of sad, because you can learn Sonic Jab off that guy, but really it doesn't it doesn't matter too much. I lost! Rats! I should invite him to the city. Something that you should always do after you beat up a Digimon. Would you like to come to the city? What? A city? I've never seen a city around here, even though I'm kind of running about right next to it. Well, okay, I'm Agumon. Nice meeting you. And just like that, Agumon, who's quite naive, doesn't really know what's cooking in the city, but he decides he's going to go and live there anyway. So that is our first Digimon. It pays to try. I'll keep on asking. So with our valiant success in the beginning, we decide that we're going to go on and get more Digis to join the city. Us and Phil. That's what Phil does when he's happy, once he's eaten. Because sometimes when you get fat Digimon later on, they're going to eat all your meat and it's going to really piss you off. But right now the game kind of eases you into it. You can actually find mushrooms in the wild, which I was kind of hoping to pick up around here. But as of just now, we've not got any. So got a couple of options of ways we can go. We can go this way into Drill Tunnel, as the sign says. But we're just going to head down here and see who we can find. Again, in the starting areas around here, all these kind of Digimon are quite... not weak and feeble, because these guys have got a really strong attack that can kind of kick you in the butt, but we're going to be fighting them anyway and train up Phil, because you can actually gain quite a bit of stats from fighting these guys early on. So we've got 3 mushrooms, which is actually a really good spawn. I think that's got a really low chance of spawning there. So I'm glad we got that. We don't want to fight 2 Digimon at once because we're definitely not strong enough to do that yet. And we're probably not strong enough to fight Red Vegemon, as he is a champion, I believe. And he poisons you, which sucks balls. So we're just going to fight this guy and hopefully see how this goes. That move right there is something I didn't want him to use, but apparently he's just going to shove it right in our face straight away, which is just absolutely great. That blue ball that Betamon just shot us is his strongest move, and it does a lot of damage, so hopefully we can cancel that move in future, or he just will not use it on us. Because that really hurts, and I don't like it when he does that. Yeah, tag. So in this little area, there's not actually a Digimon that we can recruit, but we do get a lot of bits, and we pick up a small recovery, which is great because we needed to use one of those in that battle. So it's good we replenished that. So even though I said that we're not going to be, or we are going to be using the gym quite a lot, because in this game fighting battles isn't as good as it is in Next Order, in that it doesn't pass time, it is still quite good early on. So as you can see from the last battle, we got 1 point in almost all of our stats, which is still pretty respectable. So as long as these Betamon don't keep hitting us in the face with the blue ball, that thing, I forget the name of the move, but as long as they don't spam that too much, we'll be okay fighting here. What we'll do is every now and then we'll take Phil back to the city and we'll rest them up, because that'll restore our HP and our MP. Again, just like in Next Order. And we're going to actually get another small recovery off this guy, I think. Yep, that's actually really good, because sometimes they don't drop anything. Most of the time they don't drop anything. And we're kind of lucky to be picking this up. So you can actually go down here, and I'll actually show you while we're here and we're touring. This is actually where you're going to find one of your meat upgrade guys. So this is Palmon, and we don't want to really fight her just yet. Even though she's not too hard, you can actually fight her, and she'll come to the city, and she upgrades the amount of meat that you get. Or not the amount, but the quality of the meat. I think you get giant meat from her, which is slightly perverse, but it's also useful. So this is Kunamon's bed, a little part of the forest. Kunamon's actually here. We don't want to fight him because he's a pain in the dick, and he's also a boss that will eventually join the city. And down here's actually Koala Point, which we're going to go to in a minute, but not just yet. We'll actually go back into this loading screen, reset the enemies, and train up a little bit more without wasting too much time. Whoop. So yeah, this episode is probably just going to be a bit of training. I don't know how far we'll take it, but I would like to get Phil Digivolved into champion. That'll take a little while. Oh, this is going to hurt. That's actually not too bad. I do have an MP floppy. We're going to use that because we're running out of mana. Digivolving into a champion will take us 3 in-game days. And if we decide to use the gym quite a lot, then that's going to pass the time quite quickly. But we'll see how we get on. Ideally, we want to Digivolve into Greymon, and I'll talk you a bit through the evolution chart in a minute of the chances of us getting Greymon, but I'll do that once we get back to the site. That's a flimsy move, we want him to use that, that's a good thing. This guy decides to block a lot, which kind of makes me upset. Yeah, get him right in the ass, nice. Okay. Yeah, so we get a lot of points, which is good. It's good as good. We're going to go up and slap his friend again in the face. I think this is a good point to kind of address something, because there is a lot of downtime in this game. Again, if you've played it, you'll kind of know that already. There's a lot of grinding in this game, a lot of training, which can be quite boring to watch. So I think what my plan's going to be, and I haven't completely confirmed this with myself yet, but what I think we'll do is the first time I go through the evolution sort of process of going from rookie to champion, and then champion to ultimate, which is the max stage in this game, I'll show you guys everything I do, right? Uninterrupted, unpaused, just so that you guys can see exactly how we got to getting the Digimon that we got, because this game is quite complex in how you get certain Digimon. It's not hard, but it can be quite complex, especially when you're younger, like a lot of players would have been when this game first came out. There's not a lot of hints to show you what Digimon will turn into which Digimon and what stats you need. you kind of have to figure it out. And I have played this game a bunch, so hopefully I can help you guys see that. But I won't cut out a lot of the early training because a lot of people will want to see and to see that I got certain Digimon legit, because I'm pretty sure they're cheat code shit for this game. But we're obviously not going to do that. We're going to do it legit and hopefully fly up the tamer ranks really fast. Because getting your first ultimate in this game can be quite tricky. Believe me, it can be quite tricky. When I was younger, I never got any ultimates. Oh, another mushroom. Sweet. But it's not too difficult. Once you get your first ultimate, it's like a speed bump. Once you get over that hurdle, it becomes increasingly easier to get your ultimates because your tamer level, which is shown in your player bit here. So we're starting at, I'm pointing to my screen like you guys can see my finger. So right now we're level 0, an amateur, and we haven't raised a lot of Digimon. We have no items and no medals and whatnot. I will fight this guy while I talk some shit. So right now, because our tamer level is so low, we don't get a lot of boosts when we digivolve, and so it's quite tricky to get certain evolves, or to get ultimate Digimon. Oh, you can raise your tamer level in this game by digivolving your Digimon just full stop. It goes up very slowly, but the fastest way to raise your tamer level will be getting an ultimate Digimon, which is obviously our main goal because we want to trash as many lights as possible. So we got another chunk of XP, which is pretty sick. Let's head back to the side. So Agumon actually needs to sleep right now, which is kind of good because we need to rest him up anyway. We're going to rest in the gym, and this sleep is going to take us into the next day. So our weight right now is 16, which is going to be quite important because in order to get Greymon, you need to get your weight up to, I believe, between 25 and 30. So this is us into day 2. As you can see, the little clock in the top left is a bit weird. But we are actually into day 2. So although it's night time, we're started our next cycle. So we're going to go back to the meat farm, as we will do on a regular basis. Speak to Tanamon and pick up our meat for the day. Luckily, I skipped it quite fast there, apologies for that, but we got 5 pieces of meat, which is a kind of random occurrence. Sometimes she's feeling good and she gives you 5 bits of meat instead of 3. So, yay Tanamon. We're not actually going to head into the gym, but we're going to go back and train against these guys. Because although this looks quite, to me, or I would imagine for you guys this is quite boring, but this is one of the easiest ways to get your stats up early on in the game without, again, passing too much time. So because it's night time, we're not fighting the Pokemon or whatever those little green turtle things are. We're fighting these evil-looking Kunamon-like guys. I forget their name, but we'll find out when he dies in a minute. Speaking of other things that I was just about to bring up, the overlay inside the video, I haven't really addressed that yet, but I probably should have by now. I had this game full screen and I had my webcam sticking on a part of the screen, which looked quite good to me, probably better than this kind of random layout that we've got with a chunk at the side, and some other information under the webcam, that is. But one, it stretches the screen, which kind of looked sucky because this is a very old game and I don't think it was built for flat screen TVs. But also, there's not a lot of room, like excess room in this game. Every time you push, when you bring up a menu, the menus take up a lot of the screen, so my webcam would block a lot of that stuff. It blocks lines of dialogue when you win fights. It would block other things that you need to see on screen during battles or whatnot. So in the end, this is what I've settled on. I don't think it's perfect, and it might piss a couple of people off, but you know, this was probably the best solution. I hope you guys are cool with that. Oh, so this is kind of cool. It's actually really annoying, but we'll go with it. Basically, when you get hit by certain abilities that your Digimon doesn't like, he's going to turn into this sort of really old retro-like form in which he does minimal damage, and ideally we don't want to be turning into that. We've got an item that fixes that, but we don't want to use that just now, because when we're fighting against this little share, he doesn't provide too much of a problem. We don't want to waste our items. Yeah, and we get a whole bunch of Stats. I think we actually do need to go and train our MP at some point because we tend to run out of our energy / mana when we're fighting. Again, we're going to bypass Drill Tunnel, which is that little gap there. There's a bunch of Digimon in there and other things that we will come across soon. But for now, we want to avoid that because we're still kind of shit. Or at least Phil's kind of shit. We've got all the swag we need, but I mean, Phil, he needs to strengthen the guns a little bit. We're going to come into here, which is a little bit of the game that you can go fishing in. I'm going to pick up that item just because we can. There's a vending machine you can use, but it's extremely overpriced. And we're going to avoid that for now. I think, let me check our items real quick. Small recovery 2. Let's give Palmon a go and see if we can nail her in the butt. Because we want to be getting our meat farm upgraded ASAP, just for efficiency. And also because we need to gain quite a lot of weight. So you talk to Palmon and she thinks that you're an idiot and she tries to be a flower. I'm a flower, aren't you listening? Shut up, Palmon, we need you to come and join the city. Let's go. So hopefully we don't take too much damage off this bitch. That's kind of sucky. Please don't do that. Yeah, I think we'll be good here. You actually might get a chance to see our finisher in this game, assuming we survive that long. Or assuming Palmon survives that long. This move sucks. Yeah. So now we're poisoned, as you can tell by the little pink sort of glows above our HP, which is going to tick down slowly. We're just going to use a bunch of our items, strengthen that just now. Make sure we're in top form for kicking this little cow. Nicely, of course. When I play this game, I always spam the your call button. I try not to do it, but you know, it's just like a bad habit, I guess. Okay, one more, and she's doing the Spazzy McGee, in which Digimon sometimes do when they get really weak. They go into this kind of dumbfounded look, and she's gonna block the last hit. Are we gonna get to a finisher here? I don't think we are. That's gonna hurt. Okay, there we go. Alright, maybe we can get this. She might interrupt it, but we'll see. Okay, she's not. When this happens, you can spam L1 and R1. This is gonna power up her ult. Get pepper breath, bitch. Alright, so with that, we knock her straight out, which is good. I'm gonna see what she has to say. Bunch of stats, because she was a stronger enemy. Bunch of money, which is good. Palmon dropped a brain trip. Brain chipperoonie. I hate fighting, she says, even though she just attacked us. We just wanted to talk to you. In that case, come to the city. It's peaceful there. Come to the city. Super peaceful. People like me live here. People that beat the shit out of you in the woods. Sounds like fun and Palmon. You'll find me useful. And just like that, she decides to come and be our friend. So we're going to pick this up because it's important. And I think we're also going to head back to the city. Do a bit of training, rest up, get our stats up. And then later on in this day, when it turns to night time, we're going to come back through the forest to Koala Point. And we're hopefully going to find our first shopkeeper. No spoilers. It's quite cool. One of the best things I think about this game is the satisfaction of when you unlock new areas and you beat the new bosses and then they come to the city. You actually see your progress in the game grow as the city expands and all these extra stalls and things like that pop up. Again, I think that's why Next Order was sold quite well and was quite popular, because it's a really nice feature of the game, and I think a lot of people like that. I certainly do. So we're going to train up our MP and our defense with this. We're going to time that magic for running to the bathroom, and we're going to go and talk to Palmon, I think, because even though we've collected our meat from the day or for the day, I think Palmon should have reset. So let's see how we get on. Yep, there you go, buddy. Didn't even wash your hands, you absolute tink. Phil. So yep, here we go. Wolfie, I expanded my meat farm. I'll give you 3 pieces of giant meat, and then she can sell you. So actually, it doesn't reset the meat farm. I was incorrect. But you can buy it. We're not going to buy it because, really, buying meat costs quite a lot of money, I think. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but because our money is quite short right now, we don't want to be wasting it on stuff we don't really need. So we're going to rest a while. It's going to pass an in-game hour, but again, give us our HP and MP back. And another thing is that your Digimon can actually get tired from too much training and too much battling. So if you keep your Digimon in a healthy state, then you're not going to get any Digi mistakes or care mistakes, which is a big part of the raising of your Digimon. I'll talk about that when we hit the gym in a second. So this is Agumon that we fought earlier on, the clone Phil. The first boss that we fought, he's opened up a bank, which is basically just a place to store your items that you don't need. Holy balls, my nose is super itchy. So we don't need our bandages, we don't need 2 bandages for sure, and we don't need medicine. We're going to keep all this stuff for now. And just make a bit of space in our inventory, because our inventory right now isn't that big. You will be able to find an item later on that's going to give us more space and a bigger bag for items, but right now we don't have that, so we'll keep our inventory nice and neat for now. Do we want to train again? Let's see. Let's check the stats and see what we need. So our brains could go up, our defense, and obviously our HP and MP could go up a bit as well. Let's hit HP. Give us a bit more stability for when we're training. If you're wondering what these white boxes are that are appearing under the boulder, that's not meant to happen. That's an emulator bug. Okay, so let's, now that we've done that, we can go back down and mix a bit of our gym training with our battling against the little guys in the forest. Because again, although these are kind of mediocre guys to fight against, they do provide us with a balance of stats across the board. Actually, once we kill this guy, I'll show you the Digivolution chart and I'll talk you through what we want to be getting in order to get our first Digivolution. Exciting gameplay! I'm going to pepper breath this guy's into the ground. Hopefully he doesn't blow up too much. Maybe we should have been training our speed up so that we didn't stand around like a scarecrow for half the battle. Okay, this guy apparently is Muhammad Ali and when it comes to playing defense. Alright, there we go. Cheap shot to the back, Phil. I like it. Good job. Alright, nice. That actually gave us shitty stats, so maybe we're reaching a plateau of stat gains. Let's go back into the second area. And maybe we can fight against the red Vegemon. We don't actually have any more... Oh, that's the wrong place. We don't actually have any more HP items. So we need to try and pick some of those up from the little green guys. These bros. What's his name? Moduki Betamon. Alright. Flame his face. Let's move some of this around because it looks messy. Look at that, keep my inventory tidy but not my room. Hehe. Mom would be proud. Alright. It would be nice to pick up a small recovery from this guy, but we won't hold our breath. Oh baby. So we do actually get one, which is nice. And it's down behind the bushes. Because of course, we're now going to have to find it. Hello? Alright, so I said I was going to show you guys to the chart. So instead of lying, I'm going to do that right now. So, this is the Digivolution chart. We've got, from left to right, we've got, I think it's baby, then in training, and then we've got rookies. All of this green block is for champion Digimon. And then the orange column on the right hand side is for ultimates. So we start with Agumon, and from Agumon we can have 6 possible Digivolutions. So this chart basically goes as follows. From the top, that is technically the quote-unquote best, and the red down to the red one down the bottom is quote-unquote the worst. I should probably elaborate because it's pretty much true. Basically, the top tier one is the most likely Digimon that you should be getting, okay? So the yellow line going to the top box is Greymon, and then under that, I believe it's Meramon, then it goes Birdramon, and then it goes Centaurimon. Oh, did I say Centaurimon? No, Centaurimon. Then, oh god, it's the black guy, Monochromon. And then in the bottom one, it is Tyrannomon. Now, all of the stats that we get in battle and other things such as our weight, our care mistakes will all affect how or what Digimon we're going to get. Obviously, we want to try and get Greymon because he's pretty much one of the best ones to get. But again, depending on how hard or how high we tweak certain stats, we might get and we might not. So, for example, if you train your brains up too high, you'll end up with Centaurimon. If you train your damage, your attack ability too high, you're going to end up with Meramon. Speed gives you Birdramon. And then other things will affect whether you get other Digimon like Monochromon and Tyrannomon. Now, Tyrannomon is really annoying, and probably a lot of you guys got him when you were younger, because he eats all your meat and he's just like a shitty version of Greymon. He's like a discount version of Greymon. This battle's actually kind of scaring me a little bit, because if we take too much damage here, we could actually die.